Oh, internet issues, hooray. It's okay, it's working now.
It's on licenses.
Which working? I'm a tired person, Hickey.
Why?
I'll just...
You didn't sleep well?
Just a busy weekend. And no, I didn't really get a lot of sleep all weekend. Just super... lot of stuff to do.
No, I see. Well, I had Independence Day on Friday.
You had a what now?
Independence Day.
Oh, Independence Day? Cool.
Yeah. And then Saturday didn't do anything, and now it's Sunday. I stayed up until like 1:30 a.m. translating some Japanese.
You were watching Speed Racer trying to get through all 50 plus episodes. Don't lie to me. You're like, I am so addicted to this, and I gotta find out who this Racer X guy, because we'll never know who he is.
Fuck that.
I don't know about that. I don't know about what. I mean, now that I started, I might finish Speed Racer, but
no.
When I get some vacations, I guess.
No.
60 anime, where they tell you a story that a modern anime takes 30 episodes to tell.
30?
30? Yes.
30? Nah. That's way too
So
long.
much information, so much people, so much everything packed in one fucking episode. And Racer X doesn't give a shit. He just appears and says something and it just runs away. Like, okay.
He didn't appear in that one race.
That was yeah. The last two was the first episodes. Besides the pilot, he didn't appear in. And if Wikipedia is right, he doesn't appear for a while.
Did he die? Did he died?
When does he appear again?
He died, didn't he?
He doesn't appear again until it looks like episode 38.
Okay, so it's not worth watching then. Got it.
Without Racer X to murder everybody, what good is watching Speed Racer?
It's Masked Racer. I read it in the subtitles.
Masked Racer.
Yep.
Racer X. Masked Racer.
Masked Racer.
Alright guys, I'm all connected. We ready to get this thing started? Finally?
Perhaps?
Yes.
I don't know.
Let's become Nazi sympathizers. Yeah.
Who's gonna do what? Who's gonna do what? How is this gonna work?
Podcasting Speed Racer. I'll just do the introductions and you guys can take it away.
You made a mistake. It's not Speed Racer, it's Idolmaster.
Oh, well, Idolmaster's first, I guess, yeah.
So, just let me, so basically what we're gonna do then is, Jay's gonna do the introduction and whatnot. And then we'll talk about the, do we talk about the thing, like with Crunchyroll and the Nazi and whatnot? Do we talk about that before we start going into Idolmaster or after?
We can do it before. We can do all the news and stuff after your quest update.
Well, because I want to do my quest update, then go into Idolmaster.
Right, well, then we'll go...
Since Idolmaster is one of the things I watched, it's just a natural segue.
Right. Okay, so intro, news, quest update.
And then Speed Racer.
And then we'll go Idolmaster, Speed Racer.
Yep.
Cool.
Sounds good.
And this is all going to be news to me.
You don't keep up, JD. God. Almost like you're doing other things. How dare you?
I sent you a fucking text note with a bunch of translations.
Oh, did you?
Have you read? Yes, I did.
You were in the chat. You were there.
All right, let me pull it up real quick. How far back
close.
is it? Jesus Christ. There it is.
Right after you post unknown to speed, this is boss older brother Rex, and Rex don't give a fuck. Whatever the fuck that is.
The autocorrect is great, right?
Sure, blame autocorrect.
Come on, you can't tell that's autocorrect?
No, because it's wrong.
Alright, got it. Cool. There it is. Hooray. 3 people in the chat. Welcome, peoples.
Right.
Welcome to hell.
I don't know. No. No, that's true.
Not this time. Well, actually, that too. But, it be what it is, what it do.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready to count down, you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Good morning, good afternoon, or even good evening, wherever you're listening from. This is the Red Leaf Retrocast Anime Edition. Worldwide Weebs are here. This is episode 32 of the Red Leaf Retrocast. Welcome. I'm joined here with my 2 amazing hosts that have joined me from day one, Tori and Hickey. We got an amazing episode. Every episode is amazing. We're going Idolmaster. We got some news. We got Speed Racer tailing it up at the end of the cast. That is we're going way back. We're going way back to the 60s. Tori, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Read some stuff yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of interesting, but we'll be talking about that later. And it's going to be interesting to see how people will react.
This is all kind of... I've been staying out of the news the last couple weeks. But apparently a lot of stuff happened. I guess Hickey did a lot of translations, but Hickey, first, how you doing, man?
Yes.
I hear it was Independence Day.
Yeah, it was Independence Day, September 7th. The day Brazil became an empire.
An empire?
Yeah, no, really. We were an empire, then we became a republic. We were actually a monarchy after independence. I slept well. I drank a lot. I kind of regret it a little bit because I'm not feeling well.
Apollo JD.
No, don't worry. It's just my stomach. My stomach is a little bit upset. Besides that, yeah, I slept well. I spent 3 hours translating Japanese yesterday, looking at dictionaries, but we're going to talk about that later. I also spent a lot of time watching a video someone released and gave a lot of feedback on that.
Ah, yes, you're right. I forgot to mention, but I released a video on YouTube on where I did a little bit of comparison between Megalobox and the anime that inspired Megalobox called Ashita no Joe. And hopefully JD will link that in the show notes.
Absolutely, I will. For our live listeners that aren't paying attention to where the show notes are, where can people find this amazing video that you spent over 20 hours trying to make?
See, that's the problem. When because of certain things, my channel isn't very easy to access. But so yeah, it's gonna have to be in the show notes because I've tried searching for my own channel. YouTube doesn't come up on YouTube searches for some reason. I have no idea why.
Well, maybe I'll rip it from your YouTube, Tori, and upload it to mine. Upload it to the Red Leaf Retrocast. Would you be down for that?
Sure.
All right.
You can do that.
And I'll take full credit.
I will sue you.
Everything.
Like, look at this video I made, and people would be like, "That's not your voice." And I go, don't worry about that part.
Just some voice editing, just some audio editing. Sounds a bit weird, I know. I tried a new microphone.
It's a good video. I quite enjoyed it, especially since it was more in depth and formulated thoughts than us ranting about Megalobox weeks and weeks ago when we covered it here on the podcast.
I know, it's incredible how you can structure things when you actually sit down and write down your thoughts and then try to organize them.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yep.
Just
it was a fun.
Random Brazilian go and say, it is confusing. Your thoughts are not organized at all.
That's fine. It's first try. Not everything is perfect, but you know, like it was a fun experiment to try. I am hoping to make more in the future, but I don't know. I just kind of got a certain urge to try video editing again, which I haven't done in years, and kind of actually try to, you know, do some proper video editing and not just, here, let's take this gameplay that I recorded and put it in a video editor, add my voice, and click render. Surprisingly enough, rendering was the hardest part.
You're crashing what have you?
Yeah, no, it wasn't crashing. It's just fucking Vegas has this problem where it's like, if it's at 0 seconds, the render will freeze. So I had to figure out a fix for that, and it turns out that if you just move it to the 15-second mark, then it won't freeze. But then it was like, well, but then I'm going to get 15 seconds of black screen. How can I avoid this? Well, use loop rendering. Like, okay. But anyways.
Technology. How about that?
Yep.
Yeah, I personally, I went to a retro gaming convention yesterday in Connecticut. Met up with a couple of the guys from the Retro Gaming podcast area of the Red Leaf Retrocast. So that was a lot of fun. I'll definitely be talking more about it in the next Retro Gaming episode, which is next weekend. So that'll be fun to reminisce, and played a lot of video games, got a lot of video games. You know, it was a video game convention. I sure hope I did something like that, right?
I didn't see a single video game. There was no video gaming happening. Just drinking and bowling and wrestling.
Bowling and wrestling, yeah.
At the same time.
Thing. Bowling while wrestling. Man, it's gotten really intense in the sport these days. I will mention that there was a Pong machine that was at the convention.
Of course.
The line was super long. Didn't get to play it, but did get to see people playing it. It was a modern take on Pong, and it was made through magnets. So
really,
yeah. So you're sitting down. It's like the size of a coffee table, and you move your little bar back and forth by a dial, and the hole underneath the board, your bars, and even the sides were all magnetized. So the ball, it wasn't a ball, it was a square polygonal magnet that would bounce back and forth using polarity. Like, I could totally see how it works and how it functions and everything. Really cool. I posted a video of this on Instagram at BowlingJD or Red Leaf Retrocast. You can find it there. It's about a 16 something second video. Really cool to see. It's a shame I didn't get to play it myself, but you know, you can just see how it works and how you'd be able to play it just from the video. It's really cool.
I will say though, it doesn't sound very modern.
What? Because it's Pong, or it's through magnets?
Because of magnets.
Well, I mean, magnets itself isn't new by any means, but how it was played and its take on it is a very modern take on it. And
it is
what was it's very clever. Yeah, that's a good word to put it. And right next to it, they had the original kind of Pong tabletop machine, but you know, just the regular video game right next to it, and there was like no one there. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll play one person that. So when
shocking. People aren't just flocking to play Pong, really.
Yeah, but everyone was flocking to play the new one. So.
Well, yeah, because it's new.
Yeah, it was good. Good little convention. Went to. Very tired. Not much sleep all weekend because of that. But here now, and Hickey, why don't you take us into the news?
I think Tori would be the best person to talk about it, because he was the one who wanted to talk about this news.
Okay, so the reason why Hickey wants to give this to me is because he just wants to scoot away from a little something. But I'm not afraid. I'll do it. So,
what? Hey, just because you're well, I mean, you're Norwegian. You're closer historically to,
yeah, because that really mattered. It was even closer, Poland. Say that to them. Anyways, as you might tell, this has something to do with a bit of a touchy subject. And the first thing kind of deals with Crunchyroll and a lot of their recent controversies, especially surrounding their original animation of High Guardian Spice, and the general outrage that people had when they came out with that, and the poor promotion for that. But what essentially happened was that once this was all going on, a certain Japanese creator came out, and he what was his name again? Shit, I should have prepared this. Mr. Kazuyoshi Yaginuma. He came out on Twitter. He was the director of Recovery of an MMO Junkie, and you might remember him as the guy who was exposed as a Nazi sympathizer, retweeting a bunch of Nazi stuff on Twitter, and ultimately, I see people say that he got fired. He didn't actually get fired. The show was finished airing, and he is a freelancer, so he was not actually working at Signal MD. It's just that they don't want to work with him again, so he technically didn't get fired. He just can't return. But anyways,
he just can't get any work anymore.
Yeah, but he didn't get fired. But anyways,
yeah, the important part.
But anyways, like the thing is, he came out on Twitter and he basically started ranting about Crunchyroll, because Crunchyroll was on the production committee for MMO Junkie, and
yes,
with a lot of, especially Western fans, recently having a lot to say about Crunchyroll and a lot of opinions, myself included, it's kind of, he decided that this was a good time for him to share that with the Japanese side of things, as well as give his own thoughts. And Hickey, why don't you take us through the tweets that you spent so long to translate?
Don't even
at least some of them.
Yeah. Basically, like you said, Crunchyroll was part of the production committee of Netju no Susume. And they were so influential in the production committee that the name Netju no Susume, which kind of translates to recommendations of the internet enhancement, got changed to recovery of an MMO junkie, because it would please and attract more Western consumers. That was the excuse. So, like, this guy, he understands English. He posted some stuff that I wouldn't personally, like saying, like asking, like, you should ask yourself if the diary of Anne Frank is real.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
He also, there was an article saying, we know why Hitler hated the Jews, but we need to ask ourselves, do the Jews have the right of hating Hitler?
Yep.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, he's
no.
No, I'm not. I'm not joking.
So this sounds a lot like people that think the Holocaust wasn't real. It's like along those lines of crazy.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
So he's saying.
Yeah, basically.
So he actually said, "Is the Diary of Anne Frank real?" We should ask ourselves that, and maybe the Jews
retweeted
Hitler.
He retweeted an article.
Yeah, he retweeted a bunch of anti-Semitic articles, and people were like, "Oh, but he's Japanese. He maybe doesn't understand what is going." But then he tweeted some stuff in Japanese, and they were kind of aggressive. So people were like, "Yeah, no, he's a Nazi sympathizer."
Wow.
So I'm just like,
he's a very interesting man.
He's very interesting. But then, although you have this side, Crunchyroll was so influential in Neto do no Susume, or Recovery of an MMO Junkie, that they not only changed the title, but they also scored ONA's endings, so you could only watch the actual ending on Crunchyroll.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so like he's talking about Crunchyroll with his own experience.
Okay.
So on August 30th, he went on Twitter and started a string of tweets, which is a bunch of them. And the first thing he says, the title of the string is Nihon no anime kankeisha fan zetai yonde, which translates to I must read to all concerned Japanese fans. And he started talking about Crunchyroll. And he says, Crunchyroll, who oversees the distribution of anime overseas for Western anime fans, is forming a monopoly. And he says, this is a problem, but it's implicit that Crunchyroll is a problem. He also kind of gives a hint on why he decided to talk about it, because he says, since it's hard to understand all the sudden political talk, I'll retain myself to the making of animation. So of course what led him to start talking about it was the High Guardian Spies thing, because he says political talk. Then he goes to detail how much Crunchyroll makes per title, which he says it's around 3 million to 20 million yen per anime title.
All right, because I do have your translation here up in the for the live stream to see.
Yeah, he doesn't say what it is. I think it's yen.
It's got to be yen. I don't understand why he would talk to Japanese and give them their estimate in dollars.
Well, clearly, Tori, it's in the old Norwegian kroner.
Obviously, that's all. Everyone.
That's what I use for my default currency wherever I go.
Can you give me that in a kroner, please? Why do you have kroner? Do you have kroner? No, I have dollars. I just want to know.
That's just like whenever an American asks me the temperature and I tell him what it is in Celsius every time. Just to fuck with him.
Celsius is the only way. Anyways, that's not what this is about.
Right, that's yeah. Joking aside.
No, this is about Nazis.
Yep. It's serious, JD. God.
JD.
That's right, serious topic. Nazis, go. Keep going.
Well, and then he says, Crunchyroll is legitimate, it's not illegal. And basically, he goes on saying that Crunchyroll is part of the Japan Video Association. He says there's no, it's already part of the family. Basically, what he's saying is Crunchyroll works when it's co-producing anime as a production committee company. Also, he goes on to say that they are broadcasting it most of the time, not because they are part of the production committee, but because they bought a license from a production committee member. Kind of it, because Japanese is a little complicated. You need to interpret what they're talking most of the time. This is at least my take of when I was translating. And so on, he goes and says...
This guy went full Donald Trump, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, kinda. Except I think that a lot of what he's saying has a bit more basis in reality than what Trump is going out against. Not everything, but some things.
A Space Force. Right now, TV anime makes around 12 million and 15 million yen, he thinks. If 3 million to 20 million would be added to it, it would change the whole story.
Okay.
And, then he goes and say, you cannot license these things without a contract with a production committee member, such as Kadokawa, Shogakukan, Bandai Namco, Toei, etc.
So, let's see. If a TV anime makes 3 to 20 million yen, you said 3 million is the minimum amount, 20 million are for popular shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is, from what I remember from the translation I saw on Reddit, which is where I first saw this.
Okay.
I think he's talking about episodes rather than the entire series.
Oh, all right. That would make more sense.
Yeah.
I don't know, because like he's talking about per title when he talks about Crunchyroll. That's why I didn't put per episode or anything like that, because
he's
talking about Crunchyroll, he talks about the title. So I in my understanding, he's talking about one anime.
Okay.
One anime makes 12 to 15 million.
We could say that's kind of up in the air then, because I've seen, like I said, the original translation I saw said that it was per episode. So I guess that's a bit up in the air. Some people interpret it as episodes, you interpret it as the entire series. Because, I don't know, something about what the value or like the income per series sounds very small.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And when you think about the value of anime industry right now, or at least what they claim it is valued at, that seems very small profit margins for such a valuable industry.
All right, well, let's keep going here.
And yeah, he talks about that. He changed the story, and before that, right at the beginning, he goes saying a lot of customers gather on Crunchyroll, because Crunchyroll saying they would give this money to poor anime companies, anime studios. And there goes his first sarcastic phrase. Those anime companies really didn't receive those 3 million to 20 million per title, right?
Okay, that's up above. Okay.
Yeah, it's up above. That's what you mentioned.
So he sarcastically says they don't actually receive that money.
Yeah, they actually are not receiving anything.
Well, yeah, doesn't the... Well, no, so he's saying Crunchyroll receives money, and then they reinvest into the studios that created the anime?
No.
What he's saying?
That's kind of the thing he's saying, is that that's not what they're doing. That's what they claim to be doing, but that's not what they're doing at all. What they're doing is they are essentially paying the licensing fee,
right?
Which is, since they're a part of the production committee, they're essentially paying back into themselves to get the right to stream the shows. And then the profit they make from the shows, from subscription money, advertisement money, whatever, that goes back into the production committee, which again goes back into them. The studios don't actually see anything, and the people working there don't see anything of the money. So basically, they're creating a monopoly, which is made to basically fill their own pockets with money.
Yeah, he talks a lot about contracts. The production committee, they fund anime, but they fund anime through a contract. What they do is they go out and share the information. There's a production committee that wants to make an anime. The studios, and that is an inverted logic. Instead of the production committee searching for a studio, the studio go and ask to get the job. In the contract, the money for the anime is already there. So, like, I'll give you 2 million yen per episode.
Right, they're already getting paid.
Whatever's left from this money, it's the studio profit. It's just like in construction. You want to construct a building and sell apartments. You go to a construction company and say, I have this money, you build the building.
Right, the construction company isn't going to make money off the apartment renting out to people afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Any money Crunchyroll makes, they'll reinvest into themselves to make more money, profit, what have you there. The studios already got their purse. Why? Yeah, okay, I follow you.
Yeah,
makes perfect sense.
And then he talks about it.
But he's what is he complaining about exactly? Is it Crunchyroll claiming?
Yes, I'll talk about that right now. He also talked about that. He says, if Crunchyroll is really paying the money, they would be in right to be broadcasting and wouldn't be a legal issue. However, the reason why many anime fans abroad gather on Crunchyroll is because they thought their money would go to the producers and studios, showing their thanks and appreciation. That's it.
That's a reference to Crunchyroll's motto of saying that half your subscription money is being sent back to Japan. And that's kind of one of those lies, because the thing they kind of sold their idea on is that your money will be distributed across, or the money that you pay them in subscriptions will be distributed between the shows that you like and watch and given to the people that create that. But obviously, if you pay attention to Crunchyroll, they never actually specify where this money is going, ever. They just say it's going to Japan.
It's going to Japan.
But they're in Japan.
Yeah, even in the note with the Crunchy originals and the HTML5 implementation in the side, they say the money is going to Japan. The end.
Yep.
We are working there, the money are going to Japan, but they don't know where they're going to Japan. They license shows. Of course, the money is going to Japan because they need to pay Kadokawa, whatever company they bought the streaming rights from. So yeah, it's going back to Japan, but not back to the producers and animators and everything else, which a lot of people, especially at the beginning of Crunchyroll's side, when they went legal, they talked about that a lot. Nowadays, they don't talk anymore. It's not a PR strategy. They kind of changed the strategy to a more gray tone. But in the beginning of Crunchyroll, they would go out and say, your money is going to the studio. Your money is going to the producers of the anime. Everything's fine. Nowadays, it's going to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And then he talks about the Crunchyroll network and the subtitles, and he says illegal distribution by fan subs can do a far better job. And so he says that Crunchyroll does not invest the money not only on making anime and paying the actual producers or studios, they are also saving a lot of money in structure. And because of but then when they go to Japan and go to a production committee, they use PR strategy. They advertise that they were the ones who eradicated illegal sites, which he said they still exist and they are better, and they are monopolizing their own profit. So although Crunchyroll in the notes say they are expanding and better the structure, and why not? We know that's not wrong. That is actually not true. They closed a lot of servers. They fired half the technicians that would work on the servers.
Yep.
They
and even
had a horrible site with horrible security.
Yeah, they do that.
Very easy to evade.
Another thing as well, they have the fact that if you look at their site, if you look at pictures of the old Crunchyroll pirate site versus Crunchyroll now, apart from advertising themselves and their own store and stuff like that on the front page, the site really hasn't changed. It still looks pretty much the same, but a couple of features having been removed. There are a couple of reasons behind that, but the site looks pretty much the same. Even now that they've implemented the HTML5 player, for a while you could opt in to beta test the HTML5 player on Crunchyroll. But how that would work was essentially you were opting into a program in which you would try out the HTML5 player to see if you found any bugs or anything that didn't work properly. And your job then would be to report back to Crunchyroll of your findings. So essentially, in order to be a part of this program, you would have to you would have to be a part of Crunchyroll's debugging team for free.
Well then.
Yeah. So Crunchyroll.
Yeah, then he goes like, there's reasons. There's a lot of talks in the background about using another site instead of Crunchyroll, but since everything is gathered there, the Japanese prefer Crunchyroll because it's easier for the viewer.
Well, the Japanese can't prefer Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is unavailable to the Japanese.
No, I mean I'm talking about the overseas viewers.
Yeah, okay.
I thought that was obvious.
No.
Okay.
Crunchyroll's pretty user-friendly, so for the most part.
Yeah. If it works.
If it works for people like Tori, but
no, in general. In general.
Unfortunately, the PR team is not user-friendly. But you know what? It's fine.
Their PR team is something else. Their social media team is something else.
Talking about the budget in animation and why the US has a bigger budget in animation. He says now the conditions are changing in the talks. They are becoming a monopoly and not paying the Japanese creators. They also talks a little bit about the talks of the Western fandom, where we say, the anime is not profitable, but they recover the money selling DVDs and goods and other things.
Right. Figures and all.
But he says, and he says, I want you to hand my money to the person who made the animation, not the person who made the DVDs or the goods. So
it sounds like he's just bitching about just anything and everything and how the world works.
Well, see, there's kind of the problem, and here's this where I think what he's talking about is also just an infrastructure problem in general in the entire industry. But
that's nothing new.
No, I know, but there's still something that's going to have to be dealt with and people support Crunchyroll because they think they're helping, but Crunchyroll isn't anywhere close to trying to help the situation. They're trying to help themselves, as basically every other company that deals in the anime industry are doing. They're looking out for their own good. The problem here is kind of what it comes down to is, ultimately the how anime is funded, how anime is created, and the fact that the people who you are ultimately relying on to create the product that you sell, you're also kind of slowly trying to get rid of them. You're making sure that this is not a viable career path. You're basically ruining your own industry by getting rid of the people that literally make sure that this industry can even exist. The people that create the things you sell, so that you make sure that your sales team is at the top.
Yeah, I mean, the industry has a lot more issues on it as well. I mean, there aren't enough animators. There's too much anime being made. I mean, there's a lot of factors to also take into account. But you're right, Tori. The infrastructure is a mess as well.
But the lack of animators part, that comes from the fact that it's not a viable job.
Right.
Most people that try to become animators can't. It is literally impossible because
you don't want to make $4 an hour.
You don't make $4 an hour. Because you have to pay, you have to fucking get a place to live, because you usually have to live in Tokyo.
No.
And you have to find a place to live.
Sorry. No. Come on, you live at the anime studio. Are you kidding me? You gotta sleep in sleeping bags underneath your desk.
Yeah, you know what anime studios do with that? You have to pay for your desk.
Yeah, pay one.
It is a massive problem.
You think I'm made of money over here, Tori? They gotta fend for themselves. I mean, I'm giving them a job.
No, you aren't. You're actually doing nothing, and that is the problem. Because obviously, this comes from, and this echoes. There's kind of the same annoyances that I have as well. The problem is just you want to support the people that make this stuff. Obviously, it's impossible for me to pay every single one that makes anime. There are thousands of people who works on a single anime. Are you going to pay their salaries for every single episode they put out? That's going to get expensive.
I mean, we can give them a hay penny.
You can, but that's still a bit. But
I think it's
anyways,
like $10 a week
to thousands of people.
But a hay penny is like what? I think a hay penny is 1/10 of a cent, right?
Something like that. But still, for thousands of people. But anyways, you are But ultimately, what I think is the most interesting with this entire situation is just kind of seeing a Japanese creator speak out against Crunchyroll. Because that's, for a long time, the Western and Eastern anime industries and anime fandoms have kind of lived inside their own bubbles.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They're never really interacted. So kind of seeing a Japanese director of anime take shots at Crunchyroll is interesting. Especially the political side of it, because he was essentially ousted for his political opinions. But the company he blames for having ousted him, even though he should also blame himself, because he did retweet these things on Twitter, which isn't the best idea. But he blames them for essentially having ruined his future prospects in the industry. But I don't know. For me, I'm just gonna come out and say I don't like Crunchyroll, at all. I don't like their service. I don't like the people. I don't like their PR team. I don't like the social media team. I don't like the way they treat their fans. I don't like the way they use their service. I don't like how they are literally doing the worst thing any business can do and getting away with it, which is putting in minimal effort into anything they do, whether it's subtitles, whether it's how their site runs, anything. And people are still going there and go, oh, they're the best. They're saving the industry. They're saints. They're my friends. No. No, they're not.
Yeah. I like High Dive more these days anyways.
And to the people that say...
High Dive is really good. The only complaint I have is the fucking blue bar saying, we have updated our policies. Check it out. And
I don't like that either. You can't get rid of it.
You cannot get rid of that.
But if you turn it into night mode, then that will go away. Night viewing mode.
Although that.
But you have to do that every time. It's quite annoying.
But it's just like Tori said, it is hard to talk about Crunchyroll nowadays, especially because everyone who maybe have a audible voice of there would be like any tubers. Most of them are paid by Crunchyroll.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can just to kind of look at how...
It's the same phenomenon as EA game changes. They say every single EA game is the best one, but EA is buying that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's right.
People were defending Star Wars Battlefront 2, and the game was horrible. And you go there, and it was like, EA game changes. The guy got $150,000 to talk good about the game.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? Because you saw, especially, just talk about AniTubers again, or get back to that. I remember a lot of AniTubers, especially when Netflix was getting involved in the game.
Mm-hmm.
People were making videos, they were raising complaints, they were raising concerns about Netflix and the same goes for other, whether it's, Amazon, whether it's all of that.
Even anime podcasts were complaining about Netflix.
No, I know. But
we did.
Guess who else has problems?
I talked good things about Netflix, and I was right.
No, I know. I know, but guess which one? They were talking about all the problems these companies could have or could face because of what they were trying to do and how they didn't understand the market.
Right.
Yet, for some reason, in every single one of these discussions, every single one of these videos, what happened? Well, somebody forgot to talk about Crunchyroll, because apparently Crunchyroll is perfect. And they do no wrong. I wonder why. Oh, would you look at that? Crunchyroll is paying these guys.
Yeah, there's always a conflict of interest that surfaces, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's and I mean, to me even, it's gotten to the point now where people ask, do you listen to any reviewers on YouTube? And I'm just I can't. Because a lot of them review Crunchyroll shows. And I can never tell if they're actually serious or if Crunchyroll is telling them to talk good about this particular series, because it's a series Crunchyroll is trying to push very hard.
Right.
Which when Crunchyroll is trying to push a series, everyone will make videos about it. Crunchyroll will tweet about it nonstop.
Yeah,
MMO Junkie immediately comes to mind.
Yeah, but the guy even finishes putting out a link to a animationbusiness.info. Where they're talking about how AT&T and Warner Bros. Would buy Crunchyroll, and they did on August 7th.
Oh,
of this Crunchyroll shares, Crunchyroll shares now are mostly AT&T, and Crunchyroll became a straw man. When high Guardian Spies, whatever, news came out, people started a huge backlash on Crunchyroll. But Crunchyroll now is just a corpse standing there. The project is from AT&T. Warner Brothers want to compete with Netflix in animation, so they decided to use Crunchyroll for that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what, and he finishes with, is this commotion about Crunchyroll fundraising fraud? Because now Crunchyroll is part of a multi-million or even multi-billion corporation. Will they keep saying they need the money and your money from the subscription will go to Japanese creators? Will this be a fundraising fraud, as in his words?
Probably. Well, I mean, if they just say it's going to Japan, then it's going to them, or something along those lines. I mean, it's what companies do.
It is, but it shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't be. But what are three guys in three different countries around the world gonna do?
Well,
we're gonna talk about it on this podcast and say I don't have Crunchyroll anymore. How about that?
Well, here's the thing: we're gonna talk about it, and this is why I wanted to talk about it. Because guess what? When this was happening, I was like, I wonder what people are saying, and I did a Google search, and the only thing I could find was an ANN article that was written yesterday talking about this situation, and I was like, really? ANN is speaking out? ANN is not speaking out. ANN tweeted or made a fucking 3-sentence article where they put a tweet from Malaysian Studios, the studio producing High Guardian Spice, who is saying on behalf of Crunchyroll for some reason, and they're denouncing this dude on Twitter because he's a Nazi. So basically, ANN made it.
It's public shame, right? Okay.
ANN made an article showing a tweet from a studio saying that they're denouncing a Nazi without even doing anything, not writing even a single word to say what this situation was even about. It's not about him being a Nazi. That was a situation that happened a long time ago, and Crunchyroll denounced him then.
Right.
It's not like this is all of a sudden people were like, actually, do you remember this Nazi guy? Yeah, we denounced him.
Yeah, we talked about him not too long ago on the podcast.
We did.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that annoys me. It's like it's not even that you have no faith in your fucking in the people or the people that you're trying. It's like it literally just feels like you're trying to cover something up. You're trying to get rid of a voice in the conversation without giving them any heed to what they're actually talking about or saying anything about them. Just kind of, hey, this guy's a Nazi, and yes, he is. In any normal circumstance, when I hear about this guy, the only thing I want to do is punch him in the face, because he does not help any argument that he involves himself with, because anyone can just throw out the Nazi. He's a Nazi, right? So he doesn't help
exactly
anything.
What's happening.
Yeah, but he doesn't help anything. But it's still fucking annoying when you go out and say he's talking about stuff that actually. I'm not going to say that everything he's saying is true, because I cannot speak for the numbers. I don't know where he's getting this from. But there are stuff that he is saying here, like talking about the site, which he's echoing thoughts from the Western side of the anime fans that have been around for ages. Most of these thoughts aren't his.
Yeah, it's not only I did a little bit of research when I was translating. And I was like, you know what? It will be interesting to compare what he's saying to the Crunchyroll note on Crunchy Originals and the HTML5 player. You cannot find in the site. Nowhere. What I did to find was search for the name of the author, which they put Ikari Shinji. They didn't even put the actual name of the person who wrote the note. They put Ikari Shinji as the writer. That's why I knew how to look it up. I spent so much time trying to find it. When I searched Ikari Shinji, I found the note. And then they say some stuff. Like they say that they co-produced more than 50 different anime series and have become one of the largest financiers of new anime titles, if not the largest. And that is false. That is a lie. That is a bluntly lie. Crunchyroll, you have Crunchyroll as Crunchyroll, and then you have Crunchyroll CM Fund, something. It's a branch of Crunchyroll that partake in funding anime, making part of production committees, or being the only investor of the anime. And
I'm just waiting for that. I'm just waiting for that
GoFundMe
GoFundMe page eventually coming from Crunchyroll. It seems a lot of people are doing that now too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Crunchyroll SC Anime Fund funded 22 anime. And Crunchyroll by itself, my anime list shows 43 anime, but most of them, they are listed as licenses.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they say 50. They produce more than 50 different anime series and because of that, they're one of the largest producers. Kadokawa alone per year makes 25, 26 years. And Kadokawa have been around since the 70s.
Uh-huh.
Then you have Toei, you have Kadokawa, Bandai Namco, Lantis, Sony Pictures, everyone. Crunchyroll is not even close.
King Records.
Yeah, the list can go on and on.
Toho Animations. Crunchyroll is not even close to be one of the largest anime founders.
Right.
Finances. Not even close. They bluntly put that to mislead people.
Yeah, well, you know, that's what Crunchyroll has been doing since the beginning anyway, so why would they stop now?
Yeah,
Absolutely
it's the PR. It's the PR he's saying in his tweets, where he says Crunchyroll is bad, but they rely on PR. They were the ones who eradicated illegal sites, and you know those kind of things. And the Japanese companies say, yeah, it's okay, fine, you do you. It's more money for us. We don't care, because there's in one tweet he says, you cannot fool the Japanese side.
I mean, yeah.
Well, okay. I think we've spoken enough about this subject. Bravo, guys! Bravo! I didn't know this was going on. This was very interesting. Very interesting indeed. I quite enjoyed it. Well, let's move on to happier times, because Tori, you have a quest update.
I do, and this will be real quick, because we're going to talk about something else, and
well, it'll segue into the more important topic, which yourself and Hickey seem to be really into these days.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
But first,
let me play this drop though, right fast.
Okay.
This one. Dragon Ball Z. Alrighty, you're good to go now.
Okay, so on my quest in 2014, or from the year 2014, I watched a movie, a Studio Ghibli movie, actually, and it is called, hold your horses, When Marnie Was There. Yep, I watched When Marnie Was There, which is, let's see here, it was directed by Hiromasa Yonebayashi. So it's not a Miyazaki movie. Obviously, it's 2014. What this movie is about, it's about a girl named Anna, and she is suffering from asthma attacks. She's quite
a few thing or two about that stuff.
She is quite unsociable. She doesn't like talking to other people, and she kind of just isolates herself and kind of has problems showing anybody else anything of hers. Like, she doesn't talk to anybody. She doesn't want to. She likes drawing, but she doesn't want to show anyone. Blah 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 blah. She suffers from asthma attacks. She has an asthma attack. Her foster parents, or her foster mother, her aunt, I think it was, or no, it is her foster mother. She decided to basically send her out to the countryside on recommendation from the doctor, that is, because she needed to get away. She needed fresh air, hopefully to get better. So she does, and when she is there, when she was there, she meets a girl named Marnie, who lives in this old Western-style mansion, which seems to be broken down and closed. But at night, when the tide comes in, she shows up, and they hang out and they have fun and do stuff together. And in the process, you learn stuff about them, and Anna learns stuff about herself, and it all comes around very nicely at the end. But I'm not going to spoil that.
Right.
I think the title spoils enough. But yeah, I watched this movie. I had this movie. I've owned this on Blu-ray for quite a while, and I've been wanting to watch it. I just never got around to it, but now I did. And it was quite a interesting movie, quite a fun little movie. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, because it is very much like a slow burner, at least for the first half, because you get to learn a lot about who Anna is, and then you have to deal with her antisocial side and her not really talking to people, and her bluntness, like when one of the girls is being kind of mean to her and she calls her a fat pig. Stuff like that. But for me, it was quite a nice movie, and then seeing everything tie back together at the end made it for a nice little movie that not hard to like. I hesitate to call it a deep movie, because it isn't a deep movie. Okay. And the point is, it's not. I think it's just right, because there are stuff you can look into here. There for sure is, but it's not the goal. It's what I like to call it's not very deep, and it's not trying to be very deep. It is telling you a story that is pretty clear to see where it's going to go, or at least once you get the pieces in place, it's very clear where it's going and where it's going to end, and it ends there. So it's not a deep movie that shocks you with a sudden twist.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a nice story and a nice tale from start to finish. And once you've gone through that, right, it's kind of like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Fair enough. It's definitely a movie I missed out on when it was coming out, and I think it's on my quest when I think you're past me now, Tori, easily. Because I got caught up on Space Brothers and among other things, and much longer shows.
I should be. I am one show away from finishing.
Yeah, cool. Then I'll need to get up on the quest myself. So then it'll go to my quest updates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, when Marty was there, it's on my list. It seems like a simple, nice, wholehearted movie.
It sure is.
Not like gonna be regarded as the best Ghibli movie of all time, but it'll be far from what am I thinking of? Tales from Earthsea?
I don't know. Probably no. Like, obviously, it's not Hayao Miyazaki. Nothing that Hayao Miyazaki isn't involved in isn't going to be considered the best. But it's, like I said, it was a movie that I enjoyed. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed it quite a lot, actually. Yeah.
Cool.
If you just want something nice to watch, absolutely give it a try.
Good recommendation, then.
Yep. And I'm not even going to talk about this show particularly much, because we're going to be talking about this. The next show I watched, you guessed it, both seasons of Idolmaster's Cinderella Girls.
Oh boy.
Yes. Finally. It only took 3 years.
No, it didn't. More like 2.
Yes.
Idolmaster.
2 years.
The Cinderella Girls Theater.
Not that one.
No,
Not that one?
Nope.
Those are the little short coming out.
Yep, it's literally just called the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls.
Oh, so not the theater.
Nope.
Okay.
Theaters are
I
short.
finally have someone to talk about Idolmaster Cinderella Girls in compared to the original Idolmaster. Not Xenoglossia, but Idolmaster.
Not Xenoglossia, yeah.
Wait, did I pull up the
We
manga?
could do it in
I pulled up the
Idolmaster Cinderella Girls Xenoglossia. That would be interesting.
The manga.
Well, what's this sucker about?
This sucker is about idols.
No.
I know. Who would have thought? No.
And a master.
Yep. the Idolmaster basically adapts the the Idolmaster franchise adapts the Idolmaster games. So you have the original Idolmaster, which adapts the. Is it just the first Idolmaster game?
No, you have Idolmaster 1, Idolmaster 2 in the first one because Miki Hoshi, Gahara, Hibiki, and Takane Kujo are in the first Idolmaster.
So why is the A in Idolmaster the @ sign?
Because it's cool.
Because the year was 2003 and it was released in the arcade and then on Xbox, original Xbox.
Why is the I lowercase? It's really irritating me.
I think it's cool. I like that.
The lowercase I.
It's style. It's a style.
Yeah, it makes the title stand out.
It's not only Idolmaster, it's the Idolmaster.
You're the Idolmaster. You're the one who controls all the idols. You're the one who.
So I'm looking at the little poster art here on Anime Planet. That's the site I'm on now, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 girls on this thing. So so I guess there's just a ton of characters, to my understanding.
There are I mean, in the Cinderella Girls, how many fucking idols are there in Cinderella Girls? There's
152.
Oh my god! Why? How would you even
because
keep
it's
up
a
with all
board
that?
game. Okay, look, the first one, the first Idolmaster, which is from an arcade. It will be an arcade cabinet. You buy a card, which would be your producer card, which is basically a business card. You put it in the machine, and that would hold your save. You'd have
interesting.
How many idols? 9 in the original. Yeah, around 9. 9 or 10. I think it's 10. 10 idols, excluding Miki Hoshi, Takane Kujo, and Hibiki Gahara. And you choose one of them or multiple of them and produce them. So it wasn't a rhythm game. There was a rhythm element, but it was more of an idol raising project. That is the name of the show. Hey!
It sure is. Pretty original.
Magical Girl Raising Project. Anyway.
Right.
So you'd start producing her and finding jobs and making her train. At the end, you should have a million fans. If you had a million fans, your idol would become how it's called? The best idol there is? Anyway, an elite idol and would make a show for a million fans in the Budokan. If she failed, she would say, I failed, my life is basically over, I'm retired, thank you of everything. And then she would have this very sad concert only for the closest fans. That was heartbreaking. That broke my heart so hard. And the problem is the game would reset and that idol would be retired, so you couldn't choose her anymore. So you're like, oh no, I fucked up really bad. Oh no. But regardless, then you have, in 2007, you had Idolmaster Xenoglossia. In Idolmaster Xenoglossia, you already had Idolmaster 2. You had Idolmaster. There's an Idolmaster between both of them. But then you have Idolmaster 2 and a bunch of Idolmasters. Then in 2007, I think, or 2006, they decided, let's do a giant robot show with the Idolmaster characters.
Welcome to Sunrise.
Welcome to Sunrise. So then, after that, they did the first Idolmaster, which has a very interesting story. It's a small company. Just like in the game, you need to raise the idols, become bigger. Half of the show, they kind of succeed, and then you have Haruka, which is the main character, kind of asking herself, I became an idol, I'm successful now. What do I do? This is what I dream, but I'm not satisfied. And she started becoming very depressed about it. After that, you had the mobile game, Boom. And for that, they created Idolmaster Cinderella Girls and Idolmaster Million Life. Both of them Or Idolmaster Million Life, it wasn't a Bandai game, and you need it because it's not online anymore. You needed an email from a certain company. It was a mess. But then you had those both games. They were dungeon crawling, card fighting games, where you would go out and with a team of idols, you'd scout, get random idols in the map. At the end of a dungeon, you would fight one of the idols. That would be the boss. You could also fight other people online, and you have a skill tree, and then you have skill points, and then you have training and points and customization. The game is a mess. I played it. When the game was 3 years old, in 2015, they released the anime, Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, and that's what Cody watched, which follows kind of the same structure of the first Idolmaster anime, but in this case, the company is huge.
Yep.
The company is huge. There's dozens of idols, and then you follow mostly this group of idols they are in the Cinderella project. And one of them is Shimamura Uzuki, which is basically a failure. And the pressure to become a top idol, the name is top idol, start growing on her because she cannot advance. I think we talked about it in the waifu episode. She's the most average person that ever existed. So everyone around her is growing, is becoming better idols, but she's stale. So the pressure start building, and she doesn't know how to do it. Start becoming depressed as well. So it follows the same kind of structure both anime.
Kind of, but I mean, obviously, as you can tell, especially with Cinderella Girls, it sure obviously has a lot of inspiration from Cinderella, and that's kind of the entire thing. That's why literally not even. I know, right? But not even just the fact that it's their name's Cinderella and they're trying to be Cinderella. You have the whole like fucking when the clock strikes midnight thing. You have the fact that fucking Mishiro Pro, which is their production office, it is literally a castle, a modern type castle, which is just a giant office building. But still, they have everything there, and it's not even just one giant building. It is a fucking they own that entire goddamn block.
Yeah,
it's huge, and Cinderella Project. Essentially, what I think is funny, especially with the Cinderella Girls, is the producer, because, like I said, I wonder who the hell they got as like inspiration for this producer from, because he is very large and very intimidating, but not because he's mean. He just has this mean look. And he's big, but he's very quiet, and his scouting technique is not very good. He gets questioned by the police a lot for bothering high school girls, and he is as one does, and he is
one does.
And when he tries to hire them, he kind of gets what's coming to him, because what does he say? Like when he talks to Shimamura, for example. She's the most average person in the world, but she has confidence in one thing and one thing only: her smile. So when he hires her, or when he recruits her, he when she asks, "Why me? I'm a failure. I failed at the Cinderella project audition before. Why are you picking me now?"
She failed in a bunch of auditions before. Let's.
Well, in the series, she's only failed once before. But she asks why. And he says, "Because of your smile." This makes her very happy because, obviously, like I said, she is very confident in her smile. Of course, when he tries to get Rin and what was her Mio, when he tries to get her as well, them as well, what does he tell them? Well, he hired them because of their smile. Turns out that actually he's hiring everyone because of their smile, because apparently he likes smiles. He's a thing for smiles.
What else wouldn't? Why wouldn't you? Who hates smiles?
I do. Nah, but it's the series as well. It kind of just it works to try to tell the story, a bit of the stories. You have some of the stories from games, but obviously they've been modified and changed for anime purposes, and they try to tell the story of these idols, and as well as show you. I was about to say light-handedly, but not at all. Actually, they do it pretty happy-handedly. The game and how the game works and game mechanics and whatnot. Everything from the login bonus to energy drinks to. So if you don't know the game, you might be a bit weird when all of a sudden the secretary just shows up and then she's like, "Yeah, I'll fix everything for you." And then she walks out and she's like, "Actually, I forgot something." Walks back and just slams fucking energy drinks on the table for you. It's like, what? Huh? What's the point of this? But yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff there. A lot of game references. The first Idolmaster had that too, obviously, because believe it or not, they are advertisements for the game.
I believe it.
You do?
I do believe it.
You're the first.
Just me, though.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So yeah. Nah, but what, especially what the Idolmaster anime does, because like I told you, what was it? There was like over 150 idols.
Yeah, some crazy absurd number.
Yep. So the good thing, the anime does not focus on 150 idols.
Okay.
The anime focuses primarily. Yeah, the anime primarily, like your route in, is obviously Uzuki, Shimamura, as well as Shibuya Rin and Mio. Honda Mio. They are essentially your trio, the main trio, if you will, for the series. They become the poster.
With the 3 idols they offer you at the beginning of the game.
Yep. So they work as the poster for this entire series. They also work to represent the 3 different, or at least at the time, the 3 different, which is like, what was it? Cool, smile, and cool, cute, and passion. Yeah. Passion idols. Those are 3 different idols you could get. I think, did they change that?
No, they never changed it.
No, I know they added something. I just wasn't sure if it was another. Anyways, but yeah, and then you have the other idols, which I think it says 13 in total, which all represents different. Well, not different, but they all have their own. They all have their own thing going, and as with them as their main focus, the series kind of go around and showing, them trying to become idols and the struggles they deal with, and kind of who they are. Try to show off a bit of their personality and whatnot. And it's just generally cool to watch.
It's the other 140-something idols appear in the background, which is very cool.
They do. A lot of them are voiceless, so they kind of just there as hi.
Nana has a part in the fucking anime. I was so fucking happy. But that is a spoiler.
I hate her.
How dare you?
Is this when the bloodbath starts now?
This is when the bloodbath starts, yeah.
So what is the whole... I mean, I get it, but for the audience here, what is the whole appeal behind Idolmaster? Why is Idolmaster as popular as it is? Or not as popular compared to something like Love Live?
Fuck off.
I think because it is dark. It is a little dark in the edges. If you don't pay attention, it will be a normal one. Mm-hmm. If you play the game, especially, you realize how dark it is. The first one, the fucking idol stopped crying and say thank you for everything, but I disappointed you, and now I'll be retired and goodbye. And she goes away from the game. I'm panicking. Hold on. It was too dramatic for me. In this game, the antagonist, let's call it that, she's the CEO of the company, and she's a better antagonist if compared to the first one, because the guy in the first one, he just wants the production company of the idols done because he hates the company. This one, she's like, we have a lot of idols. We don't need a lot of idols. A lot of those idols, they are old. They don't serve any purpose to us anymore, so we need to get rid of them.
Yeah, essentially, Michiro, she is more of the, the typical CEO type. She wants immediate results. She wants immediate results and kind of just, if you can't put up, we are not going to keep you around. Whereas the producer, the guy that we follow, you essentially, he is kind of, he has plans for them. He wants to highlight their smiles. He wants all of them to be happy and to do what they want. He wants them to find meaning in their lives. He wants to help them. But obviously, he is not bad at what he does. But it's just that his way of doing things usually takes time, and he doesn't want to. Like, one of the first things that happens is after they gather all the idols, after he has gotshot enough to get the idols that he wants, he's going to debut them, but he doesn't want to he only debuts some of them at a time, and he wants to make sure that they're ready to be debuted. And this obviously caused some conflicts, because some people are like, why should they debut and well, not us? We want to debut. And it's like, no, well, it'll happen, all in due time. It'll happen. And then nothing kind of happens, as well as, being the socially awkward guy he is. He doesn't really ever say anything to them about anything. It's kind of just, it's in the planning stages. It's in the planning stages. It's in the planning stages. So
I see a pattern here.
I know. He says a lot of things often. But yeah, no, it's essentially, I almost like to say as well, it's kind of like showing different playing styles as well of the game. It's almost like showing me versus Hickey. Hickey takes his time with his idols. When Hickey's fucking racing his bond, he is grinding. Yeah, okay. That raises their bond. They start loving me after that.
Oh God!
You're gonna give me +7 every time. I need 300 bonds points, but that is fine. It's gonna take me a few days, maybe weeks, but you know what? This is the best. Tori's just like, you get this candy, awaken, done. Go to the doctor, never sees the fucking light of the.
Yeah, that's the best way of playing, man. Yeah, like, I don't have time for all of them. God, there's too many.
There's some dark elements. It's not about also the depression of a few characters from time to time. In the game, if you have too many cards, you can get rid of them, and like exchange for money, just like every card game. But in Idolmaster, they make you the favor of calling this option not selling but fight. So just fighting idols, and the idols you fight are not money you're winning, but basically money you gain by saving up. So you have those kind of elements. It is very dark. It is a little bit grounded most time, it speaks to you. It's not grinded. It's not grounded in the same sense as Wake Up Girls, where there's like 4 seasons and they're still on no idols. It's grounded to not only you can relate to it, Haruka in the first Idolmaster, becoming an idol, becoming popular, and realizing, wait a second, everyone is busy now. We don't sit down and talk anymore. I barely see anyone. Is this what an idol is? Is this what I wanted for my life? I was having fun before. When people were here, we are gathering, we had parties, and why not? Now there's weeks I don't see one of these girls. So she started getting very depressed, thinking that what she chose for her life was the wrong choice. Sure. In Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, you have kind of the same feeling, where you see Shimamura sees everyone. Shimamura is a failure. Shimamura is trying to be an idol since like 7 years old, they say, but she fails a lot of versions. And at 17 years old, which means like 10 years after she started training to become an idol, she's scouted. She doesn't even pass an audition. She's scouted. And in her unit, you have Shibuya Rin, which was scouted and never tried to be an idol whatsoever. And you have Mio Honda, which passed the first auction she did. So everyone around her start becoming better, becoming more mature, and winning fans and everything as idols. But she cannot even dance straight. And she's the one trying and trying since she was young. So that pressure started building up on her, and she started not going to lessons. She doesn't want to do anything anymore because she has this idea she's not good enough. Then you have the pressure of Michiru, which is the CEO of a fucking huge company, and say, you're not giving me any results, we are wasting money with you. And that weighs a lot as well. So, it's something you can identify yourself. I think that is also something that is popular with the anime. With the games, I think it's more the raising aspect of having cheerful characters and trying to do your best to help the characters if it's the original Idolmaster style games, which Shiny Colors is in the same type of game, or just doing your best to play the best song you can and perfect combo everything, although it is impossible and the game is sometimes unplayable, which will be the rhythm games.
Okay, I follow you.
Hi, I'm the Whip Master. Also known as Hickey.
No, it's fine. I follow you
for
guys.
level 300. Yeah. No, so yeah, like, I think when it comes to the popularity of the anime, a lot of the reason is just, idols, obviously. People go crazy for idols. But it is also just kind of that, you get closer in on them, you get to learn about who they are, you get to learn about their characters. There are parts of this in the game as well. Obviously, you do have their own communes, their own stories, so it's not like it's only related to the anime, but the anime does a pretty good job. Oh, yeah. But the anime does a pretty good job of just kind of like compiling, because obviously with a giant cast and a lot of time focused on the characters, it's not like they can focus on all the characters all the time. So that's why they usually go for each episode, like you said, there's like 13 idols. For each episode, they kind of in Cinderella Girl's case, they have it's 2 seasons, so they have a bit more time. But for the first one, they basically had time for a character an episode. This one has a bit more time and can interchange a little bit more and sprinkle in parts of some characters in other episodes and whatnot as well. But both series does a pretty good job of just maintaining and at the same time kind of evolving each character without making it feel like this episode is this character, this episode is that character, and like ignoring everyone else in the meantime. There seems like everyone is progressing, even though a different character is the focus of the episodes. It seems like everyone is progressing at the same time.
Except for Shimomura.
Well, yeah, but that's story relevant.
That's the point, yeah, that's the point of the... Yeah, and also you have the animation, they don't use CGI.
That is a big one. The 2D
also the hair movement is excellent. You talked about how it's hold its popularity against something like Love Live, which seems to be like the biggest thing. It's not. Love Live is not that big actually, but everyone who likes Love Live likes a lot.
Okay. I thought I was under the impression it was much bigger.
I think they compared.
In the West, it's the biggest.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's what it is then.
Yeah, but in Japan, Idolmaster is just unbeatable. Aside from Fate stuff.
Well, yeah. Fate idols. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but like, for example, I always say Love Live and Idolmaster, they also compare the structure of the anime. Because the first Idolmaster and Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, they follow the same logic. The same goes to Love Live. Love Live and Love Live Sunshine have the same logic. Well, it's not the same logic, it's basically the same show.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with Love Live. They did the same thing again. Idolmaster, you can't say they do the same thing again because they're still trying to become, popular idols, but neither of the shows kind of ends in the same place, and there's a whole lot that goes on as well, and there's like their roots are different, their stories are different. The problem with Love Live Sunshine was the fact that their stories weren't even different. Part of the point of Love Live Sunshine was that they were going to retrace the steps of Muse, which was the original school idol group.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's very fun. Very fun. I recommend playing Idolmaster Cinderella Girls Starlight Stage. Very fun rhythm game. Now they have a augmented reality sort of thing.
Yeah, they do. I tried that.
Also,
It's interesting.
Million Live as well.
There's a nice little VR experience for Idolmaster.
There is, but it's a shitty game. You shouldn't buy that.
Oh no, it is not. It is not a good time.
Whatever. But yeah, no. For me, I would definitely. If you're looking to get into a game, if you're looking to get into a smartphone game, a Idolmaster smartphone game, I definitely recommend Million Live Theater Days. It's a lot of fun.
Wait. Idolmaster Cinderella Girls Starlight State.
Million Live Theater Days.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you quite well.
Million Live Theater Days. You know, the better one.
Starlight State Cinderella Girls. Yes.
Starlight Stage is the one that's been around for longest and had the most idols. I think it said with over 150. Whereas Million Live has
over that number.
Yeah, Million Live has 50, including people from the original 2 Love Live games. Like Mickey.
But if you play Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, the dungeon crawler one, you also have the original girls.
You do, but no. That's well, you know, Million Live is just a newer game. There's a lot more finely adjusted stuff in there. Everyone has character animation now. I love that. Everything is a fucking cutscene. I love that. There's a lot more. And that's the best part. You can't beat this, Icky. There are 2 secretaries in Million Live Theater Days.
Ooh.
I know.
I told you we're not talking about the secretaries.
You have Misaki and Kotori in Million Live Theater Days.
I'm warning you. If you want a real challenge and see how the old Idolmaster games played, you can play Shiny Days.
Yeah, Shiny Colors.
I don't know much about Idolmaster. What is this obsession with the secretaries? What are they? Are they actual secretaries? Or what?
They are the utmost waifu bait.
Yeah,
they don't waifu bait a lot. In Idolmaster, that is something interesting, especially when you look at the models of the first idols. They're very simple. There's a lot of simple idols.
They do, especially Shiny Color, not Shiny Color. Cinderella Girls, Starlight Stage. They sure like to try to appeal to different fetishes. There's a bit of that.
Look at Zyzen.
Zyzen. You have the fan service one with there's one with giant tits. She has like the fan service one. Yeah, like they have basically.
You have a bunch of Chunibyo and Gothic.
They work like a certain group of people. That's why Shiny Colors has a lot of characters as well.
They don't waifu bait, but they mark it in her face, and she's always talking to herself alone and cheering her up by herself. So she also sings very well, dances very well. So she's like, whenever I looked at Idolmaster and think of waifu bait, I think about the secretaries.
Wait, you said Chihiro, and you described Kotori.
Oh,
are you?
What? Chihiro also has this is the problem. They wear the same thing, but Chihiro
not exactly.
Wear the thigh highs.
Chihiro does now. She wears the pantyhose.
She wears the miniskirt and doesn't wear thigh highs.
They technically all wear in Million Live. They're a bit more modestly dressed. They don't have the mini skirts. They have like knee skirts that go down to their knees. And Kotori has lost her thigh highs, which makes me sad, but I'll deal with it. Misaki is fucking great.
Kotori was half of the thigh miniskirt. It was hot.
Yeah, but not anymore.
Spending most of the time with you. It's the person you usually hear more in the fucking game.
Mm.
So yeah, that's why they are very popular, and Kotori is the best.
Misaki is the best. Kotori is nice second though.
Fuck you.
Oh god.
Fuck you so much. Kotori is the best. She's the original.
What I think is very interesting is the fact that when me and Hickey, we did a little bit of comparison of our top list of the top secretaries.
Yeah,
And
I saw that in the chat you were posting. It meant it was Greek to me.
if you change the placements of 2 characters on that list, our list is the same. You just need to arrange two characters or 2 secretaries. We have the same list. No one cares about Ken. I mean, I'm sure there's some, Fujoshi out there who's going to be like, no, Ken is the best. But no, he's not.
No.
No, he isn't.
No, he's not.
But yeah, the secretaries, they're great. Like, again, the secretaries is definitely one of the characters you're going to be spending the most time with, because especially if you're in Million Live Theater Days, in the waiting screen or in the main menus, you can go to the different rooms in the theaters and you can kind of interact with idols, with the idols that are currently present. Misaki, she is very often there and doing something. So whether she's actually directly talking to you or she is, yeah, she is.
Yeah.
So she can always, and you have that nice, once you log in the first time for the day, you have that nice sequence of you showing up at work. You walk through the door to the theaters, and the idols are there, and they're greeting you, and somebody walks up to talk to you, and sometimes, and then they do the same thing when they're celebrating their birthday. They make sure to remind you that, hey, it's my birthday today, and they even do that for the secretaries. The secretaries walk up to you and be like, it's my birthday today. I love that.
Well, alrighty, guys. Unless you got something else to add and say, I think
it's the best.
All right. I think it's time. It's about that time where I think it's we're going to go into our anime review of the episode,
which is Master.
Oh boy.
Speed Racer, guys.
All right, let me play the Speed Racer drop, and we'll get into Speed Racer.
Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go!
Tori and Hickey, we are gathered here today to talk about Speed Racer.
Mach go go go.
Mach go 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 indeed.
Mach go go. Mach go go.
Well, on that, I want to ask, did you guys watch the dub or the sub, first of all?
I watched the dub. It was the only thing I could find.
Hickey, you watched the dub?
I watched the dub. I watched the English dub.
What do you mean it's the only thing you can find?
It's the only thing I could find, but I didn't look it up that much.
Clearly.
I didn't know that much about the thing. Oh, it doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, it does.
But it was fun. Well, it was fun watching the dub because they're like, oh no, they're attacking you. Oh my god, they're attacking me. I should protect myself now.
Hickey, you've nailed what the English dub of Speed Racer goes. But let's, so Speed Racer came out in 1967, so it is now our oldest anime we've covered on the Red Leaf Retrocast. It has overtaken Ashita no Joe from episode 1, 1970. Speed Racer drives the fabulous Mach 5 in race after race. Although the prize money isn't his true goal, he seeks to be the best racer in the world, and to defeat the mysterious Racer X, not knowing that Racer X is actually his long-lost brother, Rex Racer. Oh my god, that was spoiled for me. Whoa!
I was gonna say, this is bullshit. Because he was racing for the money, for her father to rebuild or build another core, which would be the Mark 5.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely get to that part.
The Mark 6. So like, he's not racing, he was racing for the money.
He sure was.
Yeah. The races don't take place upon the boring circular tracks that one might expect. Instead, they tend to involve the countryside and rough and dangerous terrain.
Countryside.
Right. This is where the Mach 5's special features such as super traction tires and jumping struts come in very handy. Speed must also deal with villains ranging from unscrupulous racers to thieves and spies, but he has the help of Trixie, his little brother Spritle, and the pet monkey Chim Chim along the way.
I hate these names. I fucking hate these names. Holy shit.
Come on.
No, fuck you. The main character is called Go Mifune. Okay?
No, the names left something to be desired, but it was, different times, different results. I didn't mind him too much. Quite goofy, but I do want to go back to the dub here for a second. It was made by Tatsunoko Production. So,
no one cares about them.
The dub was absolutely just corny as all hell. It was like voice acting was a brand new thing for the time. Was it? Might as well have been. Crack up to how corny and terrible it is because you're a brother to me. It's like, what?
They do that in the Japanese
We're approaching this active volcano, so let's drive of it. Screenshots from it and just make fun of just everything. The one I had the most fun with was when you're first introduced to Racer X, Speed's long lost older brother. It cuts to Speed sleeping in his bed in his home, and Racer X is in his full racing gear, mask and all, standing over Speed, monologuing to himself.
My best part of like the Racer X is like when the Pops, like the boss, right, his Speed father, decides where his car, jumps out, runs, gets in the Speed car, makes the course, goes out of the car, runs back to his car, and go away. I'm like, oh shit, this guy doesn't give a shit.
And everybody's looking at him. No one's faster than Racer X.
It's like, hold on, what?
Just some random dude comes in, crashes your party, and you praise him.
It's Masked Racer, guys. Get it right.
Masked Racer.
Yeah.
So I have a list of the episodes here. We're only covering episodes 1 through 13. We're not going over all. How many episodes are there in the?
52.
52. Yes, 52. We're just doing the first 13 because I think we would have gone a little bit crazy putting up with a show like this that is as old as it is for 52 straight episodes.
I don't know, man. Do you want to see the same episode 52?
It does get a little repetitive, although there are some shining moments in why this is popular, and I definitely totally see it. So, episode 1 is introduced to the gang. You got the father engineer who works for a company. He has plans for a new engine, and the lead, I guess it's the lead engineer of the company, is totally jealous of him, and he goes, I don't need to look at these plans. It's impossible to make these. You can't do this. Get out of here. And being a stubborn engineer as he is, he goes, well, fine, I'll just go make it myself. And then he gets home, and the wife goes, well, I guess you quit your job. Well, I guess you can do some real work around the house. Lots of jokes like that throughout the entire show. But of course, money is a concern. But the show, as it is in its tone, it always plays off this serious moment, and then immediately on a dime, it'll just have all of them laughing like they don't have a care in the world. And then again on a dime, all right, now we got to address that serious issue again. So it always flips between the tones, just rapid fire. Did you guys get the feeling of that? That's what I got out of it.
Nope.
It was very quick.
Yeah.
The dub was very quick.
Well, I mean, in the Japanese version, they try to stay as serious as possible for the duration of it all. Mm-hmm. The exception to that, obviously, is fucking Kurio and Sanpei. That's the little kid, his little brother, and the monkey. They are obviously the ones that.
Well, I only know them as Chin Chin.
And Kurio and Sanpei, they're essentially they are the comic relief characters. They're always there to say something stupid or usually get hit.
Yeah, I didn't like those two at all. Not one bit. Like everybody else, I kind of they were fine, but these two characters, they reminded me of
Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, in a way. I guess that's more accurate. It reminded me of the gang of kids from Ashita no Joe, but worthless.
I don't agree with that at all.
Oh, so you mean the gang of kids in Megalobox? Okay.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's a better comparison. How about that?
Yeah.
Segue into Tony's video. Hey.
Yes, let's talk about that. No.
But this first episode isn't too bad, actually. It creates reasons why, like, who Speed is. He has natural talent. It goes into why the dad doesn't want him to drive in the first place, because his older brother was a cocky punk 18-year-old kid who had natural talent himself, but he didn't listen to advice. Like, hey, maybe if you had some training, you wouldn't have taken that turn as terrible as you did and wreck the car and almost kill yourself. And of course the punk kid goes, well, fuck, come on, it's just a car, I'm totally fine. I'm not gonna listen to you, you're an adult, what do you know? And he runs away from home. You know, not the most rational reason behind it, but the dad basically goes, you can't race again until you get trained, and he goes, well, that requires effort.
That requires effort, so I'm gonna run away and actually put in that effort.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And then he's trying to tell Speed to do the similar thing. It's like, well, you don't get ahead of yourself. Don't be a stupid kid. You don't see the comparison here, Racer X? No? Can't swallow your pride and just go home?
But even better, we need to talk about the Mach. We need to talk about the car. We need to talk about the fucking all the gadgets. That's what everyone cares about.
Yes. So the way I was looking at the show, because as a kid I watched the Hanna-Barbera cartoon Wacky Races a lot. If you guys are familiar with that.
Nope.
Yep. Yes, I am.
Okay, so Hickey knows what it is.
You're not familiar with Wacky Races?
No.
Oh, so Tori, Wacky Races was a cartoon show with a lot of the Hanna-Barbera cartoon characters: Yogi Bear, Penelope Pitstop, Captain Caveman, and the like. And they would all have a kooky car that would match kind of the show that they came from. So, and there would always be an evil villain, Dick Dastardly, and Snively, his dog. I think it was Snively. I could be mixing up with another evil dog from another cartoon show, but regardless, Dick Dastardly would always try to interfere in the race to get him to win more. So when I was watching Speed Racer here, and naturally I watched Speed Racer as a kid. It was on TV, but I haven't watched it in like 25 years. So
I mean, I think everyone watched Speed Racer as a kid, because Speed Racer was remade so many times. There's even a Hollywood movie.
I did not.
The Hollywood movie, I didn't hate it, actually.
The movie, at least? The movie was fine.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Is it arguably the best anime movie of all time? Maybe. Live action? Maybe.
I have never seen any Speed Racer before this.
You know what?
Wow.
Now that you touched that subject, you might actually. Or, I mean, you have Samurai X live action. They are very good.
Oh, yeah. Americanized anime live action. How about that? Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it might be actually shit. I'll let you think about that.
But this is interesting. So, the evil engineer of the company, going back to what episode 1 introduces it to, the engineer that's jealous wants to steal the plans. Yeah, kind of expected. And the father destroys the plans and hides them on a windshield of the car. And Speed, wants to help his father build this new engine for the new racing vehicle. Kind of ironic, since he doesn't actually want his son to race, so I don't know what the true purpose is other than he can build it. So Speed gets the idea from Trixie. This is another theme in the show where everyone influences Speed. He doesn't seem to make his own decisions ever. It's like peer pressure, the anime. Trixie comes in. He goes, man, I need the money. I think maybe I'll get a part-time job or something. No, Speed, you should get into this race and risk your life. No, but Dad said I shouldn't. But come on, Speed, come on. You know what, Trixie, you're right. I'm going to enter that race. All I need is a windshield for my car. He puts the windshield on.
That is actually the dubbing. That's actually just like how they sound at the dubbing.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate this. Holy fuck.
And all the enemies, all the villains and enemies have just fantastically corny, terrible names, such as Skullduggery, snake oily or snake oils.
Snake oil. Snake oil. Ah.
I mean, that makes sense again because of the Japanese names as well.
Oh, they're all punned out as well in the Japanese.
Well, not exactly. They usually always have the villains always usually have something that starts with Oni, so they're all monsters.
Okay. And that's the more or less the theme. There's always something. You're introduced to something. Speed. Either a race is coming up that he's entering, or he needs money to enter the race. Does he ever actually get money?
Nope.
I don't think the show ever shows it.
Nope.
He won a race.
He did, but they was disqualified, or it was decided not to count. He was
disqualified. The other one, he decided to donate the money because that's what he said. He's racing to get money to help his father to build a Mark 6. But
where did they get the money to even enter the race in the first place when no one works?
I don't know.
That is a good question. But like, he never gets the money, and like after episode 4, they decided the money doesn't matter anymore.
Right? Yeah, it was really weird. So that's episode 1. Windshield ends up getting destroyed, which is really funny. And then, because the dad's all upset that he put the plans on, like, in the windshield. Then the windshield, and he's all upset that Speed's in the race, and you know, the guy's gonna get the plans and take his engineering design. Then Speed just destroys the windshield, and he goes, it never mattered anyways. I got them all up here in my noggin. Like, what? Then why did you do that in the first place then?
Well, no one can steal it.
So I thought it was a decent introduction. What did you guys think?
I think it was the first episode, I think it was very 60s.
Really?
Not only in style, not only style or everything. They packed so much story in one episode. First episode.
Yeah.
They told in the first episode of Speed Racer a story that would take at least 13 episodes for a modern anime to tell.
Right.
That is very common in 60 animes. If you go on YouTube, you can find the first episode of Astro Boy. And it's the same thing. In the first episode of Astro Boy from 1963, Toby, which I don't remember the name in Japanese, I remember the name in the dub version. Toby gets angry with his father, goes out with the family car, slams the car in a brick wall, dies. The show fucking shows the doctor holding the dead body of Toby and crying.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, guys get crazy. Goes to the lab, create Astro Boy. Says he'll be the best father in the world. Reject Astro Boy. Astro Boy goes to a circus. Work in the circus. The circus catches on fire. Astro Boy save everyone. Astro Boy gets home. Doctor says, "Please forgive me." Astro Boy doesn't forgive him, but then he forgives him. But the doctor doesn't want Astro Boy with him, so Astro Boy goes living with this other doctor. That's all in the first episode.
Crazy. Well, it's funny how you mentioned that Astro Boy had a big fire erupts and he has to save everyone. There's a lot of similarities there in Speed Racer. You can definitely tell the influence. Because any race,
the first episode of Speed Race. The first episode of Speed Race, the father goes to tell the planes it got disqualified. He's fired. Speed is training. He doesn't want to be a pilot because his father doesn't want. Plot, and then there's this detective guy who wants to steal the plans, and then you have all the drama with the racing, and then you have Speed finally in the race, and then you have the drama outside the race, and then you have the confrontation in the race, and then at the end you have the story. It is a lot. There's a lot of story packed in each episode. which leads to a bunch of problems like characters appearing out of nowhere, hence Masked Race X appearing out of nowhere, but also rivals just popping out. They just appear out of thin air.
It's real quick. Like in one of the later episodes, we covered the one with Snake Oils. Speed is training for an upcoming race, the most dangerous race, by the way. It's always the most dangerous race. Everything's the most, like, going over dangerous paths, the most dangerous path you'll ever come across.
I love that.
Snake Oil just comes up with it. He goes, Speed, I hear you're the best racer in the world. Well, you're gonna have to challenge me. Ha ha.
What the fuck did you guys watch? Holy shit.
The dub.
We watched the dub. Ha ha.
This I don't even know where we are. This fuck.
It's the one race where the cars need to jump through cliffs.
Yeah, they need to jump over cliffs. There's the big storm
Devil's
happening.
Gouge. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I know. What the fuck?
It is called.
It's not even simple. It's holy shit. Holy.
The dub is amazing.
It is called the most. Yeah, the episode title is called "The Most Dangerous Race."
Yeah.
The Great Alpine Race.
Yeah. Ah, man, the East Alps. Motherfucker. I like this. This is kind of the problem because I hate the fucking everything I hear about this goddamn dub. Now I hate dubs in general, and I'm not. This is not me saying, "Oh, you should do the Japanese one." It is so much better. No, fuck. This is still the 60s. The Japanese dub was fucking horrible too. It's not that much of a difference, but at least shit made goddamn sense.
No, come on. It made perfect sense.
It's like you guys talking about fucking, Speed, he gets fucking, peer pressured into doing stuff. No, he didn't. He never got. He wants to do everything he's doing. That's why he does it.
No, well, he wants to be a racer, but, like, whenever it comes to a decision, it's always based on, like, someone antagonizing him or peer pressuring him into something.
No!
Yeah.
No, they don't!
Well, what do they do in the dub then, or the sub then?
They talk to him. They're like, yeah, you should totally enter this race. And he's like, yeah, I should. It's like, I'm going to get a part-time job. It's like, I want to be a racer. It's like, yeah, you should enter the race. Yes. I should enter the race.
No, he wasn't going to enter the race because his dad didn't want him to do it.
No, he just doesn't listen to his father.
Yeah, it's because Trixie told him to do it anyways, and he goes,
There's
yeah,
no
okay.
Trixie! Fuck!
There's
no goddamn Trixie! Mitchie!
He listens to that explains why she has an M in her shirt.
Yes! You know what this doesn't explain? You know what doesn't explain? Where the fuck did she get the license to pilot a fucking helicopter as well as a plane? What does she do?
I mean, I thought you were going to raise the point of the monkey, but okay.
No, fuck the monkey. I don't care about the monkey.
No, you don't want to fuck the monkey. That's bad. You'll get diseases.
Parents who dress the younger kid with the same clothing as a monkey are not good parents, in my opinion.
No,
I mean he's retarded, so it's fine. This was the 60s. You have to. If you have a retarded kid, you have to make fun of it.
You have to dress him up like a chimpanzee.
Yep.
So let's talk about the introduction to Racer X, the masked racer, who is totally not Speed's long-lost older brother. Clearly not. They never say that every single episode or whenever Racer X appears on screen. No.
Did you realize that in the dub version, the narrator would say the same thing every single time when the Masked Race X would appear in the screen.
Yeah,
and then Speed would repeat.
Who is that masked man?
Yeah. Who is his long-lost brother? Whatever, he's racing. And then Speed's like, oh my god, Masked Race X will remember me of my brother. He's racing in the same race as me. I was like, yes. The narrator just said that. You don't need to repeat him. That was every episode.
Every single time.
Every single time. They would narrate a lot of the things they were doing.
So the episode. So this is what I did like about the show, where there's a lot of 2-part episodes, so it gets you invested in the plot that's happening within these 2 episodes. It gives it a nice amount of time. It gets me invested into the race. Much more in that realm, same realm of interest as Initial D got me into. The Most Dangerous Race, even the stupid one with the mammoth car that was 200 yards long.
That was cool. That was so cool. I was laughing
like, this
so
is
hard.
the most ridiculous. But like the Alpine race, I think, yeah, it was on the side of corny. It is the 60s, but for the sense of danger and how the characters actually treated the race as it being dangerous, and that wacky race kind of mentality behind it, where every car seems to have a special ability, especially the Mach 5, which we should get into right after I finish saying this, is the show did put things into whether it's driving in the elements, wind, rain, typhoons, volcanoes with them erupting, or the ground being changed because of the rain. Like it did do those things. Landslides occurring. They know they're passing through the dangerous pass, and that's where it always happens, and etc. etc. I actually enjoyed it. It didn't come across as the worst thing in the world. It was entertaining. So let's talk about the Mach 5 itself, because that's what the show is at the end of the day. It's Mach go 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 go.
Mach go go, Mach go go.
So Tori, what tell us about the gadgets in this car, and apparently how all the stereotypical mobsters of the 50s also had gadgets in their car via James Bond.
I thought you were gonna do that. You're just gonna spring that shit on me. I don't know if I can remember. I don't remember the fucking order of it. Like, I know there's A, B, C, D, F, G.
Well, yeah, there was letters on his steering wheel, all accustomed to a button that had a special ability for the car,
which is related to what it is or what it's called. Like G was the Gizmo Go, the mascot of the car with the camera, the remote control camera. Was it A that was the jumping?
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
A was jump. And the
B was the tread tires, I think.
Yeah, belt. Shit, you had the chainsaws for sawing through the forest, because obviously that works.
Absolutely. Don't you know that's how physics works?
I mean, I love it because the first when they introduce it, that's like, oh, it's used to cut through tall grass and whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, all right, fair enough. I mean, it'll still fucking cloud up your goddamn windshield and whatnot, but at least I understand that. You can cut that. That's fine. Cut the tall grass. But then it's like, no, we can also use it to cut trees. Like, no.
Well,
that's not how that works.
So I always liked whenever we pull out a new gadget, I go, okay, so the homing little plane comes out from the top of the hood. It's like, okay. The chainsaw blades come out from basically where the lights come.
You have a submarine thing as well.
Yeah, but you have a submarine thing, which they totally explain simply by showing a picture of the most basic pump you can imagine.
It's a gas tube.
Yes, it's like, oh, sure. And then it also has a periscope that comes up.
I just fucking realized something. There's also one gadget that is like the cover. Yeah. And it's bulletproof.
Yeah, it's
but the windshield is not.
Yeah, the windshield's not bulletproof, but the convertible bulletproof cover is.
What do you mean it's not bulletproof? Yes, it is.
No, the original windshield gets shot up and smashed.
Well, the one with the you were talking about the one with the Blu-rays or the blueprints on, right?
Right.
That one. Yeah, because after that he gets shot in the fucking windshield multiple times and nothing happens.
But then
the windshield is also bulletproof.
But he also smashes it just like a normal normal glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you know that's how bulletproof things works? Have you seen that? It's like, I'm gonna bulletproof glass. Doesn't matter. I have a knife. Let me stab you through it. It's not knife proof.
That's not at all. That's not at all. Also, it has strobe headlights. Who the fuck needs strobe headlights?
Yeah,
it's to see better. See better? What?
That's not how lights work. So a lot of the cars had a lot of these special abilities. It seemed every race, the main rival would also have a special ability with the car. The mobster was quite funny, where Speed's chasing him because the mobster, the whole purpose to this particular episode was he comes across an old man. Old man goes, "Oh, my dad had this special Model T engine. He put a code on it, and it's like map coordinates," which had one of my many favorite lines in the show, where Speed goes, "Yes, there are coordinates on the map, so we can follow it on a map." So we can look at the terrain, which is on a map.
I just love the dubs so much. It's so great.
I go, they were literally just like 6 numbers. That doesn't tell you anything. I was like, that's not even enough for UTM coordinates, buddy, but whatever. Then they
Except if you have it on a map.
As long as you say map 3 times, you'll find it on a map. So that led to the mob boss following along, and he ends up getting the little prize money that they get from the ground in the around the volcano. So Speed's chasing him, and the mob boss's car has like only 3 buttons. So it has an oil slick. It didn't use another button. And we don't know I don't remember what the second one was. The point is, he lights it on fire. That's right. And Speed just goes through it, no problem. His solution to that was the bulletproof glass going over him. Mm-hmm. So then he goes, "Oh, fire doesn't work. Well, let's see if water will." So he just drives over a lake, and he doesn't push a button, because I figured he would push a button. It makes his car a hovercraft immediately. Didn't happen.
He could just drive on water.
He just drives on the water, no problem, while Speed goes, and the car immediately sinks into the floor. And that's where we see the pump in the back.
It's all those fucking gadgets, they're heavy.
Yeah, all the gadgets where we don't know where they actually fit into the Mach 5.
They don't.
They just appear. So a lot of like suspension of disbelief of just fun kookiness.
No,
definitely need to be had for sure.
The saw blades are the best. There's one piece where the guy's like, "Where do you hide the guns in your car?" And he's like, "There are no weapons in my car." Like, dude, you have 2 huge chainsaws in that
blades. Those are weapons.
I love the one where they tried to fucking. I love the one where they tried to spy on the Mammoth car when he used the Gizmo Go, and it's just like, we can use this to record, and they fucking take this fucking ginormous fucking old camera and tape it on top of it. I'm like, yeah, no. They fucking shoot it, they get it back and shut up. They noticed. I'm like, yeah, no shit, they noticed. It's fucking ginormous.
Oh, the 60s. They're so great.
Yeah.
So many drugs and shit.
They were correct. Not in the physics, so to say, because let's face it, a 200-yard vehicle with 500 horsepower isn't going to be enough to make this vehicle go 500 miles an hour.
No, but you don't understand. They were essentially all its own car. They're just different cars put together to make one long one.
Yeah, especially if the whole thing is made out of gold bars.
Oh my god.
That shit would be so heavy. What was correct, though, was when at the end of the race, which they don't explain why the car needs to actually be in the race.
It doesn't.
to smuggle over hold on, let me finish the thought. So the whole car, this whole 200-yard car is made out of $500 million in gold bars, and that's how. And they spray painted it red, so to make it across. But it ends up crashing into this like big ass oil tank propane yard. Of course, as soon as it hits impact, it immediately explodes and catches on fire. Right? Naturally, everyone just runs out of this blaze, including Speed, carrying the child and monkey. And then I was like, I wonder if they're gonna show the car melting. And yeah, it shows it melting, and very well animated from 1967, I must say, of the gold melting. And I go, yeah, that's accurate, because the geologist says I am. I go, yeah, gold will melt at 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
The gold melt if it exposes it to fire.
Well, no, it's the fire mixing with the propane and the oil, which that reaches temperatures of around 3,000 Fahrenheit. At least that's what I think. And gold will melt around 2,000, so gold would melt in that temperature. So I'm like, all right, they're pretty accurate there. But then there's like taking from the Alpine. I think it was it was that same race where Speed is pushed off course and he's falling. No, different race. I'm mixing races up. I'm thinking of the. Is it the classic car?
The last one? Is it the last race with the revenge story?
No.
Where he fought the mechanic, so he was with the.
It's the one where Speed's brakes don't work in the car anymore.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, it is the one. So his brakes don't work in the car anymore. He's going backwards down a hill real hard, and the child lassos the car from a helicopter with just plain rope.
With a normal rope.
With a normal rope. And
they tie to the fucking bench.
And they tie him to the helicopter. So I'm thinking here, okay, this is going to end horribly for the helicopter, or the rope's just going to snap. No. It immediately stops the Mach 5 on a dime. It does show the momentum of Speed with a seatbelt breaking. I hope he had a seatbelt on and it broke. I'm just going to assume that happened instead of Speed just not having... He never used his Speed. He never used his seatbelt ever.
What is up with old anime and people not using seatbelts?
I mean, let's be real here, okay? That seatbelt wouldn't do much. It's literally one of those old, you got like your fucking square hole, and you got that like fucking square metal piece that you just connect in there. That thing would fucking jump out the moment you fucking crash.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like Speed just kind of fell out. Whatever. So he falls out of the car, but the helicopter is totally fine in midair. It doesn't show it going backwards. The rope's totally fine. Dude, whatever company made that helicopter and that engine in that thing, hell yeah.
I'm more interested in whoever made the rope.
And the rope too, yeah.
The rope was strong.
Some good quality.
Yep. It almost broke. They do show it almost breaking.
I thought it would break.
I thought
they show it. Why did they show me that?
To make you think it was going to break, and then they're like, actually.
God damn it!
I love the fact that no matter how long breaks they take, because they took a fucking long break. Remember, this is a 3-day race. They take they go to sleep. The fucking Ghost sleeps there. He fucking gets some rest. They fix up the car, and he fucking gets in that, and he's right back in it. He is fucking catching up to the leader already. It's like, he's a minute behind. Fuck off. He was half a day behind. That's like him
fixing up his car, and he goes, my God, I have, what was it? I have 15 minutes to get to the race. And he's down to the seconds. I go, he better live like right next to the track. Sense of distance and how far other cars are ahead, it's non-existent.
3-day race, but if you fucking sleep and rest for half the day, not even moving anywhere, you're still in the race. You're just a couple minutes behind. Don't worry.
Yeah, no problem. But my favorite moment in the show is definitely during the most dangerous race, the Alpine race, where they're at that cliff scene with Snake Oiler, and Racer X there is of course there as well, because he wants to be a good racer, but only save speed and murder everybody.
Yeah.
Running them off the course, making cars explode, people dying right there, the henchmen of whoever looking onward at their dead friends, because there's a lot of death and murder in this show, specifically from Racer X. But they're at the cliff.
That's Racer.
Typhoon level of rain is happening. Parts of the course have been taken out, so they have to go cliff jumping. Luckily, they are against the what are they called? The Carnival Squad? No, the Car Acrobatic Team. That's what they're called. Where they can do barrel
team. They do barrel rolls in cars mid-air, jumping from the cliff to another.
They can even do 450s and
they have wings. It makes sense.
Cars have wings to make them aerodynamic enough to go over the cliff in a proper way. So they draw they're at there and they draw lots. And here's Snake Oiler going, okay, whoever gets to go first, that's going to be the you're going to have the safest cliff jumping way, because the clay the clay course isn't going to break away until after you go. Like, all right. Here's Speed going, I don't know, guys. I don't think this is a good idea. And then Snake Oiler goes, what are you, chicken? I'm not chicken. All right, draw those lots.
What happened?
And Racer X goes, I gotta prove I'm the best, so fuck off. I'm taking those lots too.
What happened?
What, Tori? What's wrong?
That's not what happened.
What happened?
They were no one wanted to jump because it was a death sentence. And then the fucking acrobats guy, the acrobats team, they were like, yeah, we're the best. We're definitely going to do this. So they were like, yeah, no. But to make it fair, let's draw lots on this, which, I love how they even point out when there's like, all the acrobats guys goes first, and he's just like, well, no one can complain because this was a totally fair lottery. It's like,
yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
That was the same in the dub.
Yeah, okay. But it's like fucking go. It's like, I'm also in. I'm not going to let you guys beat me. And it's not Speed Racer, or fucking Mass Racer. He's just like, hold on. I too am in. And then fucking, it's just like being all cool and everything. And they're like, yeah, remember, the further back you are, the harder it's going to be to make this jump.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder why they even bothered, because no one made it. Literally, not a single person made the jump.
Yeah, they all fucked up. What ends up happening is Racer X pretends his legs are broken.
Yeah, that's because Go can't see anymore. He got
that's what I was getting
quote unquote mud in his eyes.
No. In the English dub, he gets a concussion and he has hysterical blindness.
Okay, I mean, to be fair to the dub, it's not like it's better in the Japanese one. He gets mud in his eyes. The mud but like because of the fall, because of everything, his eyeballs also take a lot of damage, and because of that, he's got temporary blindness.
No, in the English dub, he's like totally fucked up.
You just mentioned something interesting. You said Mark or Go in the Japanese one. He said something in a cool tone. In the English dub, Speed is never cool. He's always have this panic sound in his voice. He's kind of every time.
In the English dub, does he have his trademark thing whenever he's starting up his car? Does he have his trademark saying?
Which
is what?
I don't know. What does he say? Something whenever he's fucking accelerating after somebody?
Oh, I don't
say anything.
I don't.
No,
I don't think so.
God damn it! Every time he does that in the fucking Japanese one, he goes, "Oh, Michi, like you need to get back in the race. You need to get back in the race to catch the leader." It's like, you're right, Michi. I should. Jumps in the car. Okay, let's set out. Go. Every time he accelerates, he starts the race. He fucking chases after somebody. No, he just goes, go.
Oh,
every time. It's like,
maybe it was just so minute I didn't even notice. It's possible.
You notice it all the time in the Japanese one. It's just like, go. go. No matter what, it's like, oh,
anything.
he could fucking every time when somebody's just like, oh, he's catching up. Well, I'm going to accelerate and get away from it. It's like they're getting away. You're right. I need to drive faster. Go.
I don't know. The English dub was just so crazy the entire time.
There wasn't anything. Yeah, there wasn't anything like that in the English one. He would just narrate what he needed to do, and
he needs to have a catchphrase. God, go. It's funny because his name is Go, and it's called Muck. Go, go, go.
Gotcha. Yeah, but I definitely had fun. Like, I don't know if I would qualify this as a great show, but it's definitely not bad for 1967. It's definitely it's definitely 60s anime for sure. I'm not faulting it for that and how it looked, but I was definitely entertained. I got a kick out of the English dub. I got a kick out of just the comedy to it. I don't know if it was intentional, but it sure felt like it. Hickey, what did you think about the show as a whole? Because it's pretty hard to comment on animation and how quality wise.
Well, I mean, for the 60s, that was a good animation. It had good animation.
I think so. It was acceptable to me.
Even the cars would stretch and pull. The car would just bend. To make a corner, the car would just bend and make the corner. No, the animation was good. I don't remember them like reusing animation at all.
Oh no, they definitely did.
Oh, they definitely did. I swear I saw I swear I saw scenes taken from Heidi of the Alps, even though this came way before it.
I saw them fucking drive the same course, drive over that same rock like at least 5 times.
Yeah, there was quite a bit. There
were so there was a lot of reasons. But like the thing that I'm curious about, because Speed Racers had a touch up later, or many touch ups actually. So the thing that obviously then immediately comes to mind is this actually the original animation? Ooh. It still uses that limited animation, which is very common, which it's Astro Boy and whatnot, which was pioneered then, which was, to essentially just cut corners to make it possible to be able to produce animation made for TV. So there's definitely a lot of those where it's just like characters that are walking or they're going to do something, and they're like, instead of actually walking, they're just skipping ahead, like, here we are. That's always a bit, but like again, it's a product of its time. Yeah, that's everything they did.
It's the 60s.
Well, yeah, like it was the norm at the time. That's how they animated people.
Right. I thought music-wise, I guess the same comment is valid to any point. It was the 60s.
Yeah. It was the 60s.
Sure was the 60s.
I think it was acceptable.
The stories are fun. The stories are fun.
No.
You can give it a no. Okay.
No. Tori, it sounds like you hated it. What are your thoughts? What are your final thoughts?
I did not like this show. That's for damn sure.
Are you glad we only watched 13 episodes?
Oh yeah. No, this is such a pro of its time that I'm just there. It's like I there's nothing. Like I said for the initial D's episode as well, racing does nothing for me. It is boring. Yes, even the death races are fucking boring because you know how it's going to play out anyways. It's not fun.
Hey, we saw many people die in this show. I thought that was the most hilarious part.
And I fucking loved how they were like, how they're fucking, for that final race, or that fucking, the Alps race. And the producers, or the fucking producers of that race, they were like, yeah, this is totally, the appeal of this is how people die, because we're making this literally a lethal race where most people will die. And then it's like fucking, then the storm happens. And then it's like, guys, we should probably think about, another route for this race. And I'm like, no! Really? It's like, fucking, oh my god. And then you have the fucking acrobats, fucking acrobat racers. I almost started bursting out laughing when we got to see them and their leaders. And their fucking cult. Like, that was hilarious.
See, Tori, you enjoyed it. You were laughing.
That was the only part. Those two were the only points I actually laughed. But that was just like fucking like it's so bizarre. It's like I was like, oh yeah, they're a bunch of acrobats. No, they're a cult. They worship the fucking devil.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're not wrong. They also carried basically the dead body of Snake Oiler like away, and they go, "We'll get revenge on you for this race." And he's like, "Oh."
He wasn't dead. He was still alive.
No, he was on the verge of death. But yeah,
he was alive.
He needs to come back and challenge Speed to another race. I want to see what other crazy shit they're gonna get up to.
Worship the devil even harder.
There was the last episode where the guy wanted revenge because there was this trio driving group that killed his dad years ago, and he kidnaps his sister, knocks her unconscious, throws her in the car, drives the car via remote control, trying to run the racers off the road and Speed.
This is kind of one of those things that I fucking hate about dated shows, and that is that whole thing with him and his sister. First of all, his sister. She hides him this entire time. Right. She pretends to not know anything, even though she actually does. And whatever, he's sick. Whatever the fuck was there.
He was definitely sick.
Yeah, no, I know, right? Shocking. And then he fucking takes her and kidnaps her, and he's just, you will do this for me? It's like, no, I won't. Okay, let me torture you until you say, well, not even yes. You don't need to say yes. I don't know why he even bothered. It's like, fucking, you're remote controlling this goddamn car. She wasn't going to get out of it anyways. Like, why? Whatever. But she basically just fucking faints, and he's just like, yeah, I'm going to race with you. You're going to race now. Whatever. So he uses her. He uses her as a racer, even though he actually need one. He fucking, for sure, he tries to kill people, and then it's like, even at the end, when fucking Michi, she is like, ghost girlfriend, or girlfriend. She is fucking...
Tori, come on. Get the English dub right.
No, I refuse. And she is she fucking starts going off on this sister, like horrible person, go in danger, whatever. And I'm just like, you know what? Yeah. She's got a point and goes like, no, you need to calm down. She is also just yet another victim of abusive brother. Okay, first off.
Oh, they definitely harped on the damsel in distress throughout the entire show.
It's like, no, you don't get to claim that when you have fucking hidden this dude from police and everything. You had many chances to give him up.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of instances where especially Trixie in the show was they always seemed to once an episode have a line where it was always like, and I can do it too because I'm also a woman power, but yet not really.
She wasn't like that in the Japanese one.
They always seemed to put a line in there.
The only one who actually commented on her not being able to do anything was not Sanpei, fucking what's his name? Jesus.
The dad?
No, Kurio,
the mechanic.
The kid. He's like, you can't do anything because you're a woman. We don't need women.
He was the biggest offender. That was for sure. He always said that to her.
Well, yeah. Well, no, not in the Japanese.
There was particularly one episode where she wanted to join Speed in a race, and he just goes, "No, I'm the mechanic, and you're a woman. You don't need to be here."
Okay, like, he only did it once in the Japanese one, but it's like I thought it was funny because it works in the Japanese one because there's the joke there is obviously he says she is useless, but Kurio's the one who's useless. Yeah. He doesn't know what he's doing. But he's a man.
But the way that last episode ends in 13 was the guy he ends up crashing his father's old car. He's all upset. He's in the same helicopter that Trixie was in earlier in the previous episode, or no, in that. Well, whatever. He was in a helicopter and he's all freaking out. He's not flying it, and he just crashes into the cliff and dies. And there's the sister looking over his burning corpse. And then it immediately cuts on the dime, and they're at a flower shop holding balloons, smiling and laughing.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And I was like, that is how you end Speed Racer right there.
Yep. Remember, you can complain as much as you want about, people not letting characters have enough time for their grievance in today's anime, but fucking go back to the 60s, and that was just like, he's dead! Happy people!
He's dead! 5 5 minutes later, cake, right?
5 minutes, 2 seconds.
All right, I'm ready to score this thing. This has been ridiculous. I was pretty entertained the entire time. As ridiculous and flawed as a show from the '60s as is to be expected, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. So, Hickey, do tell.
Well, for what I've watched, yeah, a 6 out of 10.
Tori?
Good score.
I gave this show a incredible score of
10 out of 10. All right, let's move on.
You have to tune into the next one to figure it out.
That you know what? That is a speed racer move right there.
I know. I give it a 5. 5 out of 10.
Give it a 5? All right. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So, it rounds up to a 6. Nice. I did watch this on Hulu, as I live in the American states.
The American States of America.
The American States of America in true Speed Racer dialogue fashion.
Oh, God.
I really wanted for the cast to get a bunch of audio clips for it, but since you guys wouldn't have been able to hear it, would have lost its meaning, so I decided against that. But
good.
It's super fun. So, on that note, this has been Red Leaf Retrocast, episode 32. Speed Racer and lots of Idolmaster talk and good news talk. Join us for the next one as we will be discussing... Is it time? Yes, it is Nadia's Secret of Blue Water is the next episode.
You guys are going to be so confused.
I am very excited for it. And of course it'll be the best episode ever.
Just like every episode.
Just like every episode. So join us in the next one. You can find the podcast on our live streams on the YouTube page, Red Leaf Retrocast. You can download every episode, iTunes, Stitcher Smart Radio, Spotify, and more. And if you enjoyed our goofy and serious conversations, head on over to iTunes and Stitcher and leave us a nice little review, and it'll get us out of there. So don't forget to subscribe. It also helps. And with that, thank you very much.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Hooray!
Boo.
That was fun.
Boo. The dub sounded awful.
My
Holy
earphones
shit.
just died.
Like just now?
I'll say 10 minutes ago. I'm just holding
wow.
my phone and using its microphone.
Export.
Shit, I've not listened to anything. Like, wait.
How do we talk almost an hour about Speed Racer?
Good question.
I think it was just because it was so
Because
fun.
the Speed Racer is fun.
Speed Racer's fun.
Right?
It was
Shut
fun,
your
Tori.
mouth. Shut your whore mouth. There is no such thing as fun.
I'm ready for another 13 episodes.
Hey, fuck you.
I'm not. I'm not.
I dropped that shit so hard that episode. I was like, yes, finally drop.
I was watching like a wrestling show next to it the entire time, but I had the dub going. And I was like, "Yep."
My God, I really like this show. I didn't even watch it. God, I don't. No, this is unacceptable.
It was a great show. It was super fun. You had a good time,
No.
Tori.
No, I didn't. I hated it. I hate everyone.
You hate everyone. I hate everyone. Everything is stupid. Is dumb.
Yep. Speaking of which, by the way, who was it that said that Hinamatsuri is a good show?
I mean, I like the manga.
Okay, it's your fault.
I thought it was okay.
This is your fault. God damn it. I hate the humor. I fucking hate the comedy. Oh,
Well, then don't watch
it's
it.
so bad. It's so bad. I'm probably gonna drop it.
Well, drop it. It's fine. I thought the comedy was okay. I laughed and occasionally I thought when it veered off from that, that's where I had a problem with it.
I fucking hate the fact that they say something that is clearly ridiculous and then somebody goes, "Hey, that's ridiculous." I hate that kind of humor. It is so...
Well, that's That's the what you run the risk of watching comedy anime for.
Yeah, I know, but it's annoying because everyone's like, "This show is amazing. Comedic timing is his forte," and I'm like, "No, it's not.
I wouldn't go that far.
It is a pure example of fantastic comedic timing. Nope, there is no timing.
No,
they just comment on whatever situation is going on. That's not comedic timing."
All right. Let's end this stream already.
All right.